Hello everyone. So in this video, we will be looking at self-efficacy beliefs. So what are self-efficacy beliefs? So self-efficacy is a term developed by the psychologist Albert Bandura, who described self-efficacy beliefs as the belief that one can successfully organize and execute a course of action to reach a specific goal. So basically, self efficacy is a very specific kind of confidence around your ability to carry out a particular task. So, how does self efficacy beliefs impact performance? So, individuals with high levels of self efficacy beliefs will tend to set more challenging goals and will show more motivation towards achieving them. Ultimately, riders are more likely to be motivated to take on challenges if they feel they have a high chance of success. Secondly, individuals with high levels of self efficacy are more likely to persevere in the face of adversity. Individuals with high levels of self efficacy are more likely to view mistakes as opportunity to learn, aiding resilience. If a rider has low levels of self efficacy beliefs, they're more likely to view adversity as evidence of their lack of ability, and therefore they're more likely to shy away from future learning opportunities. And finally, individuals with high levels of self efficacy are more likely to view the physical manifestations of anxiety as facilitative. So, a person who has high self efficacy beliefs will view things such as an increase in heart rate and butterflies in the stomach as a sign that their body is preparing for action. So, that these physical manifestations of anxiety can actually help their performance. Whereas a person who has low self-efficacy beliefs is more likely to um, to think of these physical manifestations of anxiety as something that's actually going to be debilitative towards performance. So I'm feeling nervous, so therefore I'm going to ride badly. So Bandura established four sources of self-efficacy: mastery experiences, vicarious experiences, verbal persuasion, and emotional states. So, firstly, mastery experiences. So, mastery experiences are thought to be the most effective source of self efficacy. So, basically, positive experiences raise levels of self efficacy. So, therefore, riders and their coaches should create opportunities for riders to experience success in situations that are outside their comfort zone. Placing a rider in their panic zone is likely to lead to a negative experience, which in turn is likely to lead to lower efficacy beliefs. So it's all about finding that sweet spot of the stretch zone. In your comfort zone, then you're unlikely to have experience. You won't be having the experiences that will alter your self efficacy beliefs. But if you're in your panic zone, then you're less likely to perform well and therefore less likely to have positive outcomes leading to mastery experiences. Riders should be encouraged to reflect back on success with a focus on mastery rather than factors as such as luck. So, often riders who lack self-efficacy beliefs will view performance as I was lucky, or the judge was being overly generous. If there's no previous experience of a particular task, seek out examples of component parts. So, for example, you might not have ridden a particular dressage test before, but you might be able to draw on the fact that you've ridden those particular movements in competition previously successfully. So, next, vicarious experiences. So, this is modeling other riders who are perceived to be similar, so riding at the same level as you, to the observer and perform successfully. This helps build self-efficacy beliefs. So, observation can help build beliefs around a particular task being achievable, and they can also help aid motor learning. So, self-modeling. So this is where you look back at videos of your own performance, can also build self-efficacy beliefs. Often, when we look back at videos of performance, we focus in on the bits that we feel we didn't ride very well or the bits we want to improve. But actually, it's also really important that you really focus on the bits where you did ride well, because this is where you'll build your self-efficacy beliefs. And ultimately, that's the performance that you want to consolidate. So verbal persuasion. So verbal persuasion can help build self-efficacy. This is particularly the case when the person's opinion is well respected. So, for example, a coach, someone who's viewed as being knowledgeable. Self talk can also act as a form of verbal persuasion. So, aiding self efficacy through technical cues or motivational statements. And emotional and physiological states. So, if feelings of physiological arousal, so those the feelings under pressure are perceived to have been facilitative, like we said earlier, this will build self-efficacy. However, if physiological arousal is perceived as being debilitative to performance, then it will negatively impact feelings of self-efficacy. So, if the rider experiences positive emotions such as happiness, enjoyment, they're much more likely to have increased levels of self efficacy. So, strategies for building self efficacy. So, first of all, set short term goals that are just outside your comfort zone and reevaluate on a regular basis. Again, it's putting yourself into that all important stretch zone. And of course, if you do this, then your stretch zone is going to get a bit broader and your panic zone hopefully will get a little bit further away. And that's why it's important that you reevaluate your goals and make them a little bit more challenging on a regular basis. Work with a coach to develop ability in a variety of situations. I'm a big believer that confidence comes from competence. So, if you can work with a coach to develop your writing ability, develop strategies for a variety of situations, that's going to help build your self-efficacy beliefs. Use imagery to establish an effective strategy for every situation and to build feelings of confidence and competency. So, again, just like in your regular lessons, in your physical practice, using imagery practice can help you feel prepared for every situation. Model riders who display high levels of confidence. So, that's quite a useful technique to think, I'm going to ride like this person or think that I'm like this person. How do they think? How do they feel? How would they approach this situation? Practice relaxation, breathing, and self talk to reduce anxiety in stressful situations. So, again, um, experiencing those mastery experiences. Okay, well, I hope you found that helpful. As always, if you want to learn more about how sports psychology can help your riding performance, feel free to get in touch for a free non obligation chat. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon.